Hello everybody, it is Mormac and Kaneko with another high school vlogging day series thing. Not high school, but during my high school years type thing. I actually started driving school today, which I know I talked about it in the other vlog in day 0, but I guess I might clarify again. Started driving school today, which is absolutely insane. It's such a weird thing to think about. I am beginning to learn how to drive. That's just insane. Anyway, let's get started because I have a lot to talk about. The first thing that I noticed as soon as we got there was that it's a lot smaller than I thought. I thought it would be more of like an actual school, like bigger, multiple different classes. But nope, it's only a few rooms. Like I think the whole building, or the building that the driving portion is in, is 3 max. And one of those is the bathroom. So 2 actual rooms. The office and the classroom, which is kind of odd. It was very small, but I mean, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. I kind of like smaller classes, but it just kind of struck an odd chord with me. So at the very beginning of the class, everybody just kind of sat down before class actually started and just kind of got acquainted with the room. And there was a little bit of background music that he was playing, and I swear it sounded straight from Earthbound. Like it had that type of feel to it. And I was trying to record a little bit of it, but unfortunately, as soon as I got my phone out and I was about to record a little Snapchat, and as soon as I got my phone out, he changed the song to something else. I'll try it again the next day that we have class. I'll try to see, maybe hopefully he plays that type of music at the beginning of class, and I'll totally try to record it, assuming he doesn't change the music again. He knows. He knew. So, class didn't start yet, and I was just kind of on my phone, burning the time away before class actually did start, and I hear somebody in the background, not like this isn't regarding to me, but they're like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be on your phone, because this is like a driving class, and they're going to teach you about how not to be on your phone while driving, don't be on your phone while driving. That's just kind of a stupid thing, and I completely agree with this, but as soon as I got my phone out, I kind of heard that, and I felt bad for being on my phone, so I was like, So I had my journal out a little bit before class was starting, and I have a lot of before class starting stuff, but these are all the things that were going through my head, and I wrote down a lot of stuff before class started because I could write down more stuff before it started than during, because during I was taking notes for the class and actually listening and doing whatever. You guys understand. Anyway, I was taking notes in this little journal. I was, jotting them down, and the teacher kind of was walking by, introducing himself to each of the students, and he was like, hey, are you writing notes about the class? And I was like, sure, because I am, but not for the class, but about the class, so yeah. And he was like, oh, am I allowed to read it? And I was like, no, because I kind of closed it when he was walking by, and then he said, are you gonna be talking bad about me in there? And I was like, no, and I promise I will not, because he's not a bad teacher. That makes it sound like he's not a bad teacher, but that he's not, I try to be an optimistic person, so let's do it. The first portion of the class was really long, and I like breaks, I can handle long distances, long lengths of time periods in class or whatever, but I didn't know the schedule for this, so I didn't know how to accommodate for this. In school, it's okay, I know the first class is going to be 40 minutes, and the second class is going to be 40 minutes. I know we have 5 minutes in between each class. I know that the third class is going to be an hour and a half, and I know everything because it's just I've been going there so long. I'm so well acquainted with the schedule. It's okay, I know when it starts, I know when it ends. I don't know anything else. So for the first portion of the class, our parents were there as well, and he was talking a lot about just various things to help track your kids driving, hey, you can put in an invisible fence, and when it goes out of where you set it, it sends you an email or a text or whatever, just to let you know, hey, your kid's out of where they're supposed to be, and that type of thing. And everyone was like, oh no. And then he also brought up this other thing, and he goes, oh yeah, this is also a camera that you can put on the rear view mirror, and it records everything in the car, and it records everything in front of the car, so they'll know. And everyone else was booing and oh no, I don't want that, that's so awkward. But then I was that, depending on the quality, that could be a great vlogging camera. That would actually be really awesome. And so the whole time everybody else was complaining, and I was yeah, I can get behind that. That's pretty cool. I kind of want one now, just for my own personal use, not even to be tracked. If it can record everything, then why not make a daily vlog camera thing out of the car? That'd be awesome. That'd be sick. Then I could record movie reviews, sort of like discussions, like immediately after I see the movie. That'd be so cool. Anyway, I'm just getting on train of thought. And then later on during the day, I can't remember what the context was, but he was like, remember this because it'll help you on later down the road. And I was like, haha, road, or driving class. Driving jokes. I gotcha. So after lunch, which was about halfway through the day, I think it was at like 12:15, somewhere around then was when lunch started. But after lunch, which was about 20 to 25 minutes, we went outside, or half the class went outside and half the class stayed in the room reading the chapters that he assigned us to read. And then we went outside and he gave us a few things to do, like, hey, if we slammed our foot on the brake here, where would we go? Walk over to it and just kind of stand over there. And then people did that. That was the first activity thing. And then we went over to like the test car that they had at the driving school. And then he, told us to like do a bunch of things, like, hey, open the hood. And just basically a bunch of stuff under the hood, and just kind of told us to identify stuff on the dashboard, little stuff like that. And it was an hour, and we were outside, and it's insanely hot. Like, it's awful. I was sweating so bad. It was awful. Just being outside for an hour in this heat. And I know that where I live, it isn't even like that hot. Like, it's hot, but it's like 90-something degrees. It could get way hotter. I know Bernie Burns has been complaining about like 100-degree weather for the past month. That would be awful. We're almost there. Bad. That's a bad thing. We're almost at 100. Oh, that's awful. Can it just be 60 degrees year-round, please? I mean, I'm not even asking for snow year-round. I'm just asking for snow during the winter and 60 degrees all the other time. Maybe 70. Maybe 70 during the summer at a peak. And then after we were outside, we went in the class, and the roles reversed. The people who were in reading went out and did all the car stuff, and the people that were out doing the car stuff went in and began to read the chapters. And then he showed us a few like super depressing videos about like, oh no, their friend got in a car crash because they were texting or they were drinking or something like that. And after the video, he was like, okay, I want you to write down like a little thing in your notebook, just how the video made you feel and stuff. And then I said something like, oh yeah, I just didn't like the way it was presented. And then after, like, that wasn't the only thing I said. I actually said stuff about the video, but I also added that in, like, a few sentences. And then after the video, like, during lunch, he was like, hey, I want to talk to you. And so he started asking me questions. He was like, oh, like, did you not like the way I presented it? And I clarified. I was like, no, like, the video itself was kind of poorly made. And it kind of, like, dragged me out of it, because every time there was, like, a serious moment, there was just some bad editing or something that was really obvious and distracting. And I just couldn't pay attention to the video because I was like, wow, that's so bad. Like, the music, I can't even hear them talking because the music's so loud, stuff like that. And so we talked it out, and it is cool. So I got in trouble. Whoa, I'm such a bad boy. I'm almost as bad as, like, the kid in my class who asked if he could smoke. He's 17, and he was like, hey, can I smoke? My parents are okay with it. It's like, we're in a classroom. There are other kids. There's a teacher right in front of... Why are you at... Like, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard anybody ask in any school. Which is... Well, it might not be the stupidest, but it's definitely up there. There have been things that I have heard. They're dumb questions. It's like, how... There's a saying that there's no such thing as dumb questions, but... There are. That is a thing that exists. And then, after that, he just kind of like gave us a talk about just driving etiquette and more stuff about the dashboard, like more in-depth stuff about the dashboard and just driving and stuff, in a driving class. He taught us about driving. Whoa, that's insane. And after that, we just kind of went home. And I got to be the example a few times, which was great because he had a key and then he was like, okay, like if you're in a dark place, you can like put the key like through your fingers. Like, I don't have an actual key to demonstrate, but put, like, the blade part through your fingers, and you can use it, like, as some, like, not a weapon, but as, like, a defense. If they, like, grab you, you can, like, stab them in the eye, stuff like that. And so he was like, okay, Michael, do you mind if I use you as an example of, like, a thief or whatever? And it wasn't really a thief or whatever, but he said, this key, like, it's pretty good weapon if you know how to use it right. And then he like got my head and he like kind of put I'm about to say fork, put the key to my head like very lightly. Like he kept on like doing this like above my head like, and he's like, okay, he's like, you can do it fast. And look, I'm not gonna do it too hard, but like he could tell you that it like will hurt. And then he got, you know, like did it super slow. And then as soon as he like, boop, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Did that hurt? I'm so sorry. And it's like, did you even touch me? Like it felt so light, but like I can tell it would hurt a lot if you actually stabbed someone with that. That would, I don't know, it would hurt. So tips for people out alone in the dark at night who have keys to a car or their house or keys of some sort. And then he also was talking about like crashing, and so he got one of the girls like lunchboxes and started like flinging it around. And he's like, "This is how fast, like, not really, like as an example, but like this is how fast like you could have something and then like it crashes, boom, you're dead if you like go, you know, straight into a giant concrete wall." And then he started talking about airbags, which is why he got the lunchbox, because then he used me as an example as like hitting my head with the lunchbox, which he didn't even hit my head with the lunchbox that hard. He just kind of like, you know, it's like he was kind of afraid to do it, like with even any force, even though it was like a super soft lunchbox. Like he let me hold it and he was like, how heavy is this? And I was like, oh, you know, it's not heavy at all. It's also not hard. It's super soft. And then he was like, okay, now if that can like do a little bit on your head, imagine a giant concrete wall that won't move and you go like 40 miles an hour into that. That would hurt a lot. Also, you'd probably be dead, and you know, stuff like that. And then after all of that, the day was over. He gave us our homework, and yeah, boom, we're home. Driving school, day one was successful. Nothing bad happened. It went probably as well as it could have. So, good job, everyone involved, or me, because I did it and didn't die. Woo! I didn't get into a car yet. But that's coming later. I'm kind of scared for that. Super scared. I don't want to go 40 miles into a concrete wall. That would be spooky. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Goodbye. And I want to say thank you all so much for watching. If you actually stuck to the end of this, because I don't want to apologize for doing a bad job, because I know you're not supposed to do that, but I was really not feeling it today, and I really, really wanted this vlog to be good, but there were just personal things that really stopped this from being great. I love you, Level 5, for confirming a new Layton. I really needed that this week, and hopefully the next day of school is better. I will see you guys then. Goodbye. Thank you all for watching. There are 4 normal days of school and then a few days after that for the actual driving portion. And I think I got all that correct. I don't know 100% sure. Anyway, see you guys later. Goodbye. And thank you all for watching.